That's us.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. We are back on again. Hopefully this time we are a bit louder. As I said, I'm JP. Joining me this morning, my good man, Mr. Alan Stilling, and Ryan Clifford. Alan, obviously, we've done a wee introduction already for some of the viewers, but we'll redo that because there might be people tuning in now that weren't able to see the wee beginning that we had there. So, how's things, mate? And I hope you're well.
Oh, very well. Hope everyone that's watching's well for the second time, and you guys. On a quiet new year, and obviously we seen Celtic the other day. I think we've seen more news footage of comments or statements from our good manager, and I think that's starting to continue on. But we're looking forward to tonight. It was a decent second half performance the other day, and a good win. But looking forward to the game tonight, and hopefully we can get a better performance overall, which we know we're capable of, and hopefully another great result. And I think we're well capable of, and I'm very confident that we'll do that. How you doing, Ryan?
And Ryan, obviously yourself, mate, how are you doing?
I'm good. It is -13, as I said before. We had to do another one. It is cold, so if you are got the game tonight, wrap up. And I think a lot of the talk has been obviously about Rodgers' comments after Sunday's game. I think that's obviously kind of the media have obviously went on that again, and it's kind of overshadowed the very decent second half against St Mirren. 3 goals, 3 attacking goals, 3 counter-attacking goals. Kuhn and Engels involved in the goals as well, so I think that's overshadowed the second half performance and the victory. Again, his presser yesterday for the pre-match today, there was only 2 or 3 minutes of the game against United today, which I thought for the media is pretty poor. Again, they've got to get headlines, I've got to speak to them about obviously the presser, but I thought that press is about the game tonight. They're not talking about Sunday. Maybe for the first few minutes, but again, listen, we all know the media in Scotland, they want a headline and they're wanting him to say something, or they're wanting something to put in a headline for the day. And listen, we live in Scotland, you know that's how the media work.
Well, you look at last week when they were talking about the other side of the city with sports science, that went on and on and on for press conference after press conference because he said something that maybe come across a bit silly. It's just normal kind of press, normal journalists that are looking for that killer headline that's going to stand out above the rest. And to be honest, sad to say, I think Brendan's kind of his bit at that, and it was the ideal to say the least, in my opinion.
How was the experience of East End Community Radio on Monday night? I meant to ask you.
I know, thanks for giving us a bit of my roll sausage in my throat there. No, thanks, East End Community Radio.
Is that what you call it these days, aye?
By the way, I'm glad that's the only thing that was stuck in your throat.
No, it was a good night. Thanks to Toby and Kelly for having us on. I know it was something a bit different to be in kind of radio background and to discuss all things kind of Scottish football out with kind of just Celtic. So yeah, no, it was very enjoyable, and again, much appreciation for giving us all the opportunity. That's always been there now. So good wee night. Hope some of you tuned in to listen to some of the nonsense I speak elsewhere rather than just here.
Aye, just as he says nonsense, Ryan, I was listening in myself, man. It just sounded like 2 boys in a room having a buzz on a CB radio, didn't it?
Aye. But no, listen, like it says, we appreciate obviously the opportunity that East End Community Radio, Tony, Jesus Christ, Ryan, speak, get your teeth in.
You're right, it's more than I.
Toby and Ken have gave us, obviously myself, JP and Aaron, now we've been on it, and it's a different environment for what we do here, and the fact you can actually speak about Scottish football, you can put your knowledge, whether people think it's good or no, it's different for just talking about Celtic, which is, I think it's good as well, because as much as we love talking about Celtic, it is also, I guarantee we can sit about here for hours about other points in Scottish football, about other teams or ticket prices and whatever else, so it's good to obviously get that as well.
100%, mate. Good morning to some of you that are joining us in the comments. Vincent O'Brien, he says, Hail, Celtic from Dublin. Cheers for tuning in, mate. P. McLaughlin, hail. Plunge just says hail. I don't know, just an H. I'm assuming that just means hail.
I know how many steps.
I think so, aye.
H.
How many steps, aye.
Tragedy.
Plunge has said that's better, boys, obviously, with the sound. And, P. McLaughlin's also said, I'm working in the cold in Parkhead. And now, I'll end up with hypothermia after tonight.
Is that P. McLaughlin even money for hypothermia speech steak? Yeah, aye.
So,
It's
aye,
going to
that's
be
him moved
minus
up to-
16 tonight, I'm sure. if we get a win tonight, I'm sure it'll be minus 16.
Aye, it goes to minus 16, that's right, you're right.
That's a bit nippy, isn't it? That's kind of...
But aye, P. McLaughlin, you better wrap up or all dead it'll be after you, I know, aye.
Thomas Burns joining us also. He says, come on, the Hoops. Well, the reason I got us here to kind of preview the game in a different environment, thanks to the Morven for allowing us in to come in and do this today, and chat about obviously tonight's game. Dundee United, I'll come to yourself, Alan. Obviously, you look at the last 3 games prior to tonight, they beat Aberdeen 1-0, they beat Dundee in the derby 2-1, but they lost their last game, which was just at the weekend there to Hearts. So you're looking at that and you're saying you're going in with a wee bit of form. What is, from yourself, mate, what are you expecting from Dundee United tonight at Celtic Park? You expecting another team to sit in against us and you think they're a bit more expansive?
Right in saying they're the only one of the only ones that's took points off us this year. They got a draw with them. They are. Jim Goodwin, I think he's a very good coach. They're very well set up, well organised, well drilled. And you see the recent run of form apart from at the weekend there against Hearts. You're looking at that's why they're up third or fourth place now. Third now. So they have made a kind of a good run of results together, and they've made a kind of a forward roll up the table. So it should be a victory at Parkhead at Celtic Park. We should be expecting that. Expecting's maybe the wrong word, but when you look at Celtic turn up, usually at Parkhead, we're going to win the game. I expected the United possibly to make it very difficult for us. You know that, working into these games, you know teams like that usually play a low block. They'll usually kind of pack the defence in the midfield, kind of let us go down the outside and the wings and make sure there's nothing really going through the centre. So it may well be difficult to break through, but as I've said before, we know this going into 99% of these games. You're looking at teams in Scotland, they always play this style of football. And it's our job, we're aware that that's going to happen. It's not as if it's a surprise. We know that's going to happen, so our job is to play forward and our job is to break them down.
Yeah.
So we know what the tactics are going to be. We know what our task is going to be. So we need the players and the manager to go out and complete that task. I think we will, but we need to know exactly what we're coming up against. I think we're all aware of that, and for me, I think we've got enough quality there to break them down.
Yeah. Ryan, yourself? Thoughts on
Like you
United?
said, they're obviously they've won 3 of the last 5 games. The boy Stephen Dalby, his name is, he's probably the major threat. Where I know he plays, I know they might go with somebody else. The other guy, I can't remember his name, you're about me, JP names, but the other boy comes off the bench, I think he's Dutch.
Van der Sander?
He's been the most used sub, I think, this season, going about that. So, will he play? But I'd imagine if Dalby's fit, he'll be playing. The last game actually against Hearts, they were 3-4-1-2. Against us at Paradise, they were 4-4-1-1.
Yep.
So I'd imagine they'll probably go with the 4-1-1 or the 4-5-1. Which they don't play much, but I'd imagine they'll try and be a wee bit attacking. I don't think they'll be as low block, if you want to call it, as teams like St Mirren, and I think they'll try and have a go at us, which I think actually might really help us because it means we can then play it quicker, go forward.
It opens up space a bit.
They actually, for the last few games, a lot of fouls. I think it was 11 against Hearts, 11 against us. So they like to break up the play. So I'd imagine you might get a few stop starts, and again, that's not good for us because you want to play it quicker. And so again, but these teams need to do something, be that or it's wasting time or whatever it is they need to do. So the guy in the middle of the park is it Selvey? I can't remember his name. I've got it marked down here, but he's always filming people. He's good for a yellow card, so he could be somebody that's
Survey.
Survey. He could be somebody that's going to try and pick up the play. He likes a tackle. We've seen it in the game at Tannadice. I don't know how they get booked early doors, but I'd imagine they'll probably try and. I don't think they're really much defensive United. For what I've seen from this year, they're actually one of the teams that will try and do something for you. We've seen it at Tannadice, the 2 or 3 chances.
The box was really compact at Tannadice, wasn't it?
I'd imagine Celtic Park, listen, we all know that if we play it quicker, we play the ball forward, we play to even 80% of what we can, teams kind of live with. So it will be a cold night, so I'd imagine they'll want to try and play it a bit quicker tonight and try and get it moving, and you don't want to be standing still in these games, especially in the temperature. So listen, it's all, I don't care about how much you win by, it's just about getting the result and going to minus 16, because if you do that, it puts the pressure on them, the Mora, who are not good away from home, basically needing to win to salvage something in their season. Because if you go minus 16 or minus 15, it's not good.
Yeah. See, just as Ryan says that, Alan, obviously Celtic's mantra is to go, I mean, we've heard Brendan Rodgers, is to go and try and start fast every single game. But we all know, mate, sometimes that's not possible, depending on who you're up against. I thought it was a great point he made in yesterday's presser where he says, it's not 11 mannequins we're up against here. It's 11 men, people that are going to move. These mannequins don't just stand still, and, you know, so I think sometimes, I think what he's really deep down asking for is an element of patience. And to be fair, in my opinion, I feel as if, you know, we need to see that tonight, moving into the game. If we don't get an early goal.
Aye, I think we need an early goal because there is a lot of friction. Just before I deal with that, I think we've got a comment for Monty there. Thanks, Monty. I appreciate you listening to that. Aye.
We're not going to read it out this morning.
So, aye, that's very, very nice of you, Monty. No,
Martin, are you abusing Aaron again?
I know. But I think you're looking at it like there is a lot of friction regarding the manager, regarding the fans at the present. I think a lot of that came through, there was a lot of kind of anxiety the other game within the kind of fan base going up to the kind of 25 half hour mark, and I think that's why the kind of the slow back passing etc was maybe getting annoying.
Did you think it was slow?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Because I was at the game and I didn't
pedestrian,
feel that myself.
Very was kind of passive at times. It was just that we weren't kind of going forward as much, and I think that's why a lot of people are kind of. And I think the majority of that's because the game before that we were absolutely atrocious, absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And then people have seen the first 20 minutes, half an hour, and they're saying, is this forward on? Is this why? So I think we're going to go into why, what Brendan says, obviously we and Ryan's no had our kind of opinions on that matter, but I think the fans, I was probably a wee bit anxious watching the start of that game. I think we improved massively going through the game, but I think some of the fans have got a right to be that kind of anxious, because when you look at the game before that, we were absolutely awful. And then the first half an hour, we didn't show any signs of kind of it massively improving, albeit in the second half, the end of the first half, it definitely improved. But fans are going to be like that. I think Ryan's analogy to ourselves earlier in the week was if you go to a music concert and the band are playing very well, then you're not going to get an atmosphere for the crowd. You're not going to get a very happy crowd. And I think that analogy pretty sums up what we've been seeing just now. I think and it's been a number of games. I think you're looking at the last number of weeks, last maybe 6-7 games. Well, it's not as if we've been bad, right? We have won most of the games. We have incredible amount of points, winning a trophy, on the precipice of qualifying for the Champions League. But when you compare those games to the games that we played for the majority of the early part of the season, the standard has dropped significantly since then. well, the quality's dropped significantly since then. And I think we've set some high standards at
Yeah,
the
but
early part of the season.
the amount of games is culminating into that
Aye,
as well.
but if that was 1 or 2 games, right, you go right. Aye, the amount of games, but it's been a number of games. You can name a lot of the games that we whether it be one half or the complete game, that we haven't really been at the performance level that we're capable of, and it's not a bad performance, but we've shown the level that we are capable of. We've shown a very, very high standard, and that high standard, I'm sorry to say, the last number of weeks, it has dropped significantly, and that all kind of accumulated for the game in the Glasgow Derby last week. And I think that's where people's gone, right, there's so many kind of performances that we've not been at the highest level, and it's ended up we've been beat off our rivals. So it's no by any means, we're still in an absolutely fantastic position. When you look at it from the outset, we're having an incredible season. But I think it's the high standards that we set early on in the season. We were playing superbly well, and I don't think the last number of weeks we've lived up to that kind of level of performance, in my opinion.
Talking about high standards, so many of you watching, can you all please hit the like button? And if you're just tuning in for the first time, possibly hit the subscribe. It's totally free. We don't charge anything, but it also helps us as well. So there are just under 30 of you watching us currently this fine morning. So if you can, please hit the like button as you're all watching just now. Quite a lot of people in the comments as well. Hit that thumbs up button, and it also helps us to keep up our standards as well. Ryan, obviously touching on what Alan was saying, do you agree on what Alan was saying, or do you see things differently?
I think we can all agree it was actually similar to last year as well. Now, I like his game, the pressure before the game at Ibrox. He was very choppy, he was putting digs in, and I loved it. But then the pressure on Sunday, it's like he didn't like it. It's like he was back. By the way, I've got a lot of pros for what he done, and you've got to look at it both ways. There was pros of why he's back the team and back his style and back everything, and then there's also cons. So there's both sides. By the way, he's no wrong, he's no right. He's got an opinion. So far, so view. We've all got opinions. His is more credible because of who he is and his status and everything else. I don't think as a fan base, 50,000 fans on the line. It's no the fact that I get what
it's
you're
not
saying.
50,000 fans
No,
that were
but
during the ball going back to be
We're
either.
not entitled, but people
Aye.
are seeing that we're not playing to the levels we're capable of. That's what
For
I'm trying to
me,
say.
last year when about this time, we were kind of the same. Doing a wee bit, and by the way, it could be a number of things. It could be fatigue, it could be the games. So you've got to look at both ways. Now, I watched Open Goal last night, right, and I agree with a lot of what they said in terms of Slaney was bang on about. He says, I've said it. It's not the fact that the ball's getting passed backwards. It's the fact that they can go forward and they're not going forward. There's times where Greg Taylor's got the ball, he can play it down the line or he can play it in the middle of the park. It's going back to Scales. Johnson can be the same. It's going from Scales to Vickers to Casper, back out to Taylor. Sometimes when you can go forward. If you lose the ball, I'm not going to go off my nut if they're trying to do something. It's different if the ball's no on and you pass it forward. What happened at Ibrox? That's why the goal happened, because the ball went forward, went down and go forward. But that's the thing that fans. Now listen, James McFadden on the warm-up on with Chris Boyd and that. Again, hitting it on the head. Fans want to be excited at football. They don't want to be sat watching sideways and pass. I get what he's saying, but about recycling the play, you need to go back, by the way, if you know football, but he says, which, by the way, I didn't like what he says. I didn't like it because, listen, the majority of the fan base know football.
It's patronising.
Right.
The fans, it's patronising.
It's
very
alright for us to
patronising.
say this on here about certain fans if you played football. We're not got the stature that he's got. You can't come out and say to fans, if you know football. The 50 or 45,000 fans, the majority know football. They know what the team are trying to do. They know that you need to go back to the cycle. We all know that. But when you can play forward, I feel the last few weeks, they've not been doing it. And I agree with what you said and what I said. See after half an hour, excuse my French, but what he says about us want to be feeding off up after half an hour, that's bullshit. Nobody I spoke to, or nobody I speak to, yourselves, myself at games, I do not expect Celtic to be feeding off and up after half an hour.
Some fans do.
Aye, but for me, if they
Very
do...
little.
Some fans think that we can just turn up and we batter teams out of the way and that's the way
Aye, but no
Celtic
after
play.
half an hour, though.
Do you-
No
And that's
after
not
half an hour.
reality.
A wee question here. Do you think Rodgers come into that interview on Sunday in the right frame of mind?
It was a build-up. It wasn't just about
Do
Sunday.
you think he come into that in the right frame of mind? But that's what
well-
I'm saying. Because usually we get a composed, we get a calm, we get a collected.
Well, he was composed.
He wasn't. You can see there was anger seeped out of him. You can see he was very frustrated. He was saying stuff that he would never say. He would never usually say that. And that was I just think he had an absolute nightmare with that interview.
No, I just think he's been more
absolutely
ruthless this
messed up.
time for he's come back.
Some of the stuff he said, he's getting the fans on his back.
I don't know how the fans can be on his back though. It's a winning
Well,
machine, so
Well, if you start coming out and saying the fans can't do this, the fans can't do that,
he's not said that though.
well, he's saying it's disrespectful to do that, so he's been patronising the fans, saying you shouldn't be doing that, it's disrespectful. So for me, I just think...
He's asking about a moment, no, he's not asking about he's asking about a certain moment in the game. He's asking the fans to think about how would you feel if you were Greg Taylor?
Well, I'd feel pretty good because I'm a big boy and I'm getting 15 grand a week.
Well,
so I'd be all right about
Well, you
it.
say that, right, but you're annoyed at Brendan.
No, I'm not annoyed at Brendan. I think Brendan's been wrong, right? That's my opinion. I don't think Brendan should have said that. I don't
So
think
it's
Brendan should
obviously,
have said that.
it's got to a point where you feel a bit aggrieved of the way
Not
he
aggrieved,
came
but
out in
just,
that
my
interview.
opinion is that he shouldn't have said that. I don't think there's a place for that.
So why should he not have
usually
said it then?
Because why should he be getting on
So
the
why
fans' backs?
are the fans? Hold on. Why are the fans allowed to shout at him and allowed to do all that, but then he's just to sit there and take that and bite his lip? No, that's not how it works, man.
What's the fans shouting about him?
Well, they're jeering.
They're cheering.
So if he doesn't like that, is he just to stay
They're
quiet?
cheering at him.
He's part of the team.
For me, what happened, right, Rodgers could have... He's gave, see, because of what's happened at the presser, it's overshadowed the second half performance in the game, right? Normally, he's very cool and he's good.
By the
when
way,
he's
we won 3-0. Just for him,
that's what I'm
just for him that
saying.
it's
That's what I'm
lost
saying, right?
in that sort
the
of
presser
chain
game,
of thought.
The media have made this presser even more now. They've carried on into the presser yesterday, right? For me, normally Rodgers, the man he is, obviously he's been aggrieved and angry. He's come out, listen, the pros are what he says was he's backed his team, he's backed his style of play, he's trust us, trust the team, right? But all he had to say was, look, I can get fans get frustrated, just trust me, trust the team, look what we've done
That's
so
all
far.
he's asked for.
Well, but
It's not really.
he said it more
I
than
know.
what he should have.
What do you mean?
He can nipped it in the bud. If that makes sense. He said he can only
Aye,
say...
he's
just saying
in my
the fans are
opinion, in my
disrespectful.
opinion, he's just spoke his mind
I
and
know,
said how he
listen,
felt.
I think we-
And a lot of the fans don't
some of
like
what
it.
he- some of what
But
he
they
says-
can't have all their cake and eat it and
No,
get to shout at
no,
him
you're
and the
right,
team
no,
and
you're right.
everything else
Listen,
and don't expect
it goes-
anything
it
back.
goes
That's
both-
not how it
It
works.
goes both ways, right? For me, the thing for me now, I'm pretty... I don't own this. The thing with Greg Taylor is no disrespectful. He's turned that on to help Taylor by backing him. The pros of that is he's backing his player. He's making sure that his players know getting anything on him. He's saying he's working hard. He's backing Greg Taylor, which I totally get. But to turn the Tiernan Taylor song on to being disrespectful to Taylor,
It's crazy.
for me, he's
nuts.
I don't know why he's turned that on him. Onto Greg,
I don't
onto-
think he's meant to do it in the way that
Aye.
it's maybe came across.
Aye, maybe-
I think
aye,
he's
aye,
maybe...
aye.
Listen, I went over this
He's-
on Monday
he's
night
just
when I was
tried back-
on,
he's just tried back his
and
player. That's what he's
I
tried
went on about this on Monday night when I was on. I think what he's tried to do, and it's maybe come across the wrong way, right? I think
Possibly.
the way he's done it, it's came across the wrong way. What's happened is Brendan has meant he's meant for the fans to be respectful in that moment.
No, I get that.
He's not telling them not to sing about Kieran Tierney, by the way. That's not what he's meaning. What he's meaning is, you're singing about a guy that's not even at the club. There's a guy here busting his arse, blooding for the nose, needing treatment, carrying on to the end of the game, and then he went down the tunnel. But he's not singing about him. But he's singing about a guy we
Aye,
don't even have, just because he's a cult hero in the squad. Greg Taylor's no, in my opinion, Greg Taylor's not going to be a cult hero when he leaves Celtic.
I get what you're
he's
saying,
he's
right?
one of the worst liked players in the team. So he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And that's where Brendan's
Now,
coming
people
from.
might
And I see it.
People might say I'm right here, right? The press are getting leaked that they're actively trying to replace Greg Taylor with Kieran Tierney.
So we all know we should be getting better.
but
Greg
what I'm
Taylor.
saying
It's
is,
not good enough.
They're talking about disrespect, right? Neil Lennon tried to replace Greg Taylor. He signed Bolingoli. They've both vying into time. Bernabei, right? Ange tried to replace him with
Yeah,
Bernabei for competition.
They have brought
They've got vying into
few
compete
people
with him
in.
to try and replace him. They're actively leaking to the press that they're trying to get Kieran Tierney. to probably come in and either compete or replace Greg Taylor. Is that not disrespectful? Latent to the pressure to try to get somebody
Hello?
when he's still at Arsenal. So you're telling the fans that you can't sing about a hero, but you're latent to the press, but you're trying to get to so the fans are going to speak about it.
I just think his whole demeanour.
It's going to work both ways.
His whole demeanour in that interview was completely different from what we're used to seeing. We're usually seeing a composed professional Brendan Rodgers, and for me, that was by far and far away from what we usually see.
Do you think though, Alan, do you think some of it was maybe overspill in terms of the derby?
I think so. I think so,
Because he, obviously Brendan, we know Brendan or not, he wouldn't have been happy with what happened on Thursday.
You've got to see that, we're saying take it for 2 points of view, right? The fans are saying, we've been absolutely roasted off our rivals. You're coming into that game against Ross County, right? St Mull, right? And you're thinking, right, let's get a fast start. Let's see this team actually go for it.
St Johnson, was it no?
No, St Mull. St Mull.
Oh, St Johnson was 4-0 game, wasn't it?
That was the game before the derby.
Aye.
Yeah.
St Mull, no, so we've been absolutely roasted.
St Mull
that
at the
derby.
weekend,
Aye, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we'll come into the St Mull game. The fans are wanting, oh, let's see something new, because we've been absolutely hammered here. And that's what didn't happen, so that's how the fans are getting frustrated. Like, you're saying we need to see where Brendan's coming from, we need to see where the fans are coming from as well. You're seeing that kind of, and then we're coming into that game, and it's kind of fast flowing, attractive football, and that's how the fans are getting on their back.
I think he didn't. Barry, I love the manager, right? But he doesn't like when you criticise his style of play. He doesn't like it when you criticise him, because that's, for me, the fans were really... No, I wasn't bothered on about getting beat. The performance obviously spilled on at the weekend, and he's obviously been annoyed at what he's read. By the way, I want to put, again, balance it.
After this, we're going to move on, right? Because we've got things we need to discuss.
Some of the stuff for the fans about the game on Thursday, and then some of the stuff has been well over the top, right? You need to remember, listen, you criticise performance, whatever else, right? But you need to look at the full context as we have got 55 goals in the league, 7 against us, 1 defeat, 1 draw. You're nearly in Europe, hopefully. You won a cup, so I criticise certain parts, but you need to look at
The bigger
whole-
picture is
aye.
really good.
So,
right?
and then obviously the game tonight, which is the majority of what you want to speak about, what we're here to talk about, it's another chance to put another League One, another chance to score more goals, another chance to extend your... So, again, this is what annoyed me about the presser yesterday. The media didn't speak about that. They spoke about... That's done. But that's what annoys me about the Scottish media now.
It took them, what was it? He done what was that, a 15-minute interview?
15,
And it
12
I got to 12 minutes before they actually mentioned the night's game.
But again, they're
That's
wanting
mental.
more headlines for the match, which is wrong. It's
and
wrong.
by the
It was
way,
better yesterday
he never
than
actually rose to anything they were trying to throw at him.
It was better yesterday. It was more back to what the Brendan Rodgers we know and love yesterday.
He's probably been to bed now.
Aye. But
He looked as if see in the weekend, but he did look as if he'd been up all night.
I think I was speaking to Ryan the other day, and it was. I think the players tonight are needing a great performance like we've seen at the start of the season. Because I'm not saying they're down on confidence, but I don't think they're as confident as they were earlier in the season. And I think that's showing when we're not playing the ball forward as fast and we're taking as many chances. So I think maybe 1 or 2 great performances like we showed earlier in the season, I think that could kick-start us again and show us we consistently play like we did at the start of the season.
See what he's saying there about playing the ball forward faster. And do you not think, Ryan, no, and a combination of like the amount of games that we're playing every 3 days. At the start of the season, we were only playing once a week. That's how the intensity was a lot higher and everything. But now we're having to, I mean, he played McCown, Engels and McGregor on the St Mirren game. Tonight he's probably going to play McGregor, Hattati and Bernardo. So the team's totally changing every time. Scales has been in, he's been out. Trusty's been in, he's been out. Fye's played, Taylor's played. So the team has chopped in. Ralston's played games, Johnson's been out. So the team has been changed. CCV's been in and out with injury as well. The only person that's been a constant in the team's probably the goalkeeper. Throughout the whole squad. Ida's been in, Kyogo's been out, Maeda's been in, Yang's been in. Kuhn's been in, so they've been chopping and changing. James Forrest was in before he got injured. So it's only obvious, in my opinion, that as we're in winter now, we gather into these, and by the way, what a job the lads are doing at Celtic Park, the groundsmen and stuff, to keep that grass, how to grow grass in the winters. That must be a phenomenal thing they're doing, but you look at the amount of pitches we're going to have to play on. Some of the pitches are all cut up now by this stage, and add into that the European games that we've been playing as well. So we've been playing a lot of football. Engels talked about it there in his presser, about the amount of games, and he said it. I actually got a big fright talking about the kind of calendar. So, and a combination of that, mate. Is it only obvious, Ryan, that some of the performances aren't going to be at the peak of your powers because of what's going on, and the full team's getting chopped and changed to be used?
I think the majority of Celtic fans, even about this year, performance levels can drop. There's injuries, there's suspensions, there's a lot of games, like you say, there's terrible parks. Sometimes, listen, I sometimes don't mind if it's not a good performance. I'll take a 1-0 win, right? See, sometimes now, the night, like, do we really want to be sitting in -3, -4, freezing cold, watching...
-13?
Aye, -13. The fans just want a wee bit of excitement, right? Take away the context. I'm excited about this season, what we've done so far, right? You've got to look at everything both ways, right? For me, that's going to be an impact. How many games you're playing, chopping and changing. Now, we all notice and we all see when you play football, well, from my own opinion, when you play pre-season games and say the first 11 starts, you might be 3-0 up. You change your full team, you might get beat 5-3 because the dynamics have totally changed. Yeah. So that is going to happen. I don't think it's the fact that it's side or pass. For me, it's the fact that somebody has been really, like, you go back to the game at Ibrox, right? That was really, really slow. Right, and it's not the fact that their side. See, it is. Now we talk about low blocks, right? Now Celtic Park, we understand that teams are going to come and park the bus, low blocks. But see if you do this and that, teams are happy for that. But all you want is the ball a wee bit quicker. If you move it quicker, then teams are going to get dragged about, and I think that's why we eventually got into the second half against it, because we played it a wee bit quicker. They get tired, and you scored the goals. But I actually think that the football's not been absolutely dreadful. It's just because I think because we've set the standards in the Leipzig game, James McFadden mentioned it, that the football was that good against Leipzig. It is hard to then go and do that every week. Of course it is, because, let's be fair, no disrespect to St Mirren and Ross County, but if we're playing against Leipzig, European nights, can't wait. And then you go, Dingwall, half 12, all right.
I know.
So, we spoke to Ken Wilson about it.
Yeah.
Ken Wilson played against Barcelona and goes, I can't.
And they were up in the mess at the weekend.
He says, we can't explain how it happens. It's just natural. Barcelona, Messi, Xavi, brilliant. And then you're going to go, again, I know they didn't play that game, but Jordan White's playing against Ross County. It's, I'm playing against Puyol, or I'm playing against Messi. All right, I'm going to play Jordan White now. So there's going to be a drop-off. But I just think it's going to happen. I think sometimes you need to sometimes realise that these guys aren't robots. They are going to have a wee bit. So I get what you're saying as well. That is true. I just think the manager's frustrated because he's wanting the team to obviously... Now, I'm glad he backtracked on his second presser about the support, saying that they're always here because... He can't say the fans don't support because fans travel through wind and rain and snow and ice and travel and pay their money, so they do support the team. But he's just wanting the fans to know Jade. Listen, I get it. I get both sides of it. And
I was at the game on Sunday, and there was a lot coming from behind me. And I'll be honest, it was annoying me. It was annoying me.
Ryan says I could have been worded by Brendan a lot better.
I think that's
probably the way.
That's what it is.
And maybe a bit of it as well has been slightly taken out of context and what he was actually meaning in the moment. But it was the way he said it and the way he came across. Is obviously a lot of fans have kind of went, whoa, what's going on here? But Alan, see Ryan speaking there, do you think that the reason that we're rotating the squad is a massive reason as to why the club's in a healthy state? We've not really got a lot of injuries, barring James Forrest.
Is the reason why
for the rotation is the reason why we're able to come in. But usually by this time we're normally hit with injuries, aren't we? We're normally hit with a few. We've only really got James Forrest injured for our full first team.
We've obviously spoken about the kind of strength and depth we've got. It can be improved. I think we have mentioned about the transfer window, about a few areas of the pitch that we can improve in with the kind of depth, strength and depth wise. But in comparison to other seasons, I think the strength of our squad is pretty decent. You're looking at the midfield. as you say, JP, there's a lot of the times that the midfield are totally switched out, but you'll bring in three players for three different players.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get 5 or 6 players in midfield that you can probably go, aye, they're going to come in and there's no going to be a massive quality drop. So that is a big thing for us to make that rotation so that we're not getting that many injuries. Maybe that is correct, or maybe we've just been kind of lucky, or there might be something behind the scenes, whether that be kind of, don't even want to say sports science, you know what I mean? Sports science.
Seems to be a very well
Aye.
spoke about topic nowadays. I'm surprised, by the way, I'll be surprised if he's not playing tomorrow for him.
Whether it is the
That guy's in
nutrition,
as a grenade bar and you enjoy yourself. son.
might be the nutrition or whatever it may be.
How's it
but
like peanut butter, mate? You'll know be able to eat that, nearly does.
That's the audio ones you like, isn't it?
I think we'll obviously discuss it in a different podcast, but I think there is areas of the pitch that we will be bringing in to kind of freshen up the place. I think we've obviously spoke about the wing positions. I think we'll lack the kind of the quality depth in the squad regarding that position. But you look at kind of massively the midfield. I think that's probably the strongest part of our squad. You're looking at kind of there's a lot of the players getting game time consistently, and even if they're not starting, they're coming on for whether that be kind of 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and that's happening every game. So yeah, the squad depth at the minute, that's probably the reason why we're not having so many injuries in the rotation, and hopefully we can bring in another couple in this window, and that can let us kind of have more strength and depth and go forward through there.
Yeah, a couple of comments coming in. Jerry Burns, he says the teams we are playing against are playing 3 games a week. We've got a big squad, meaning probably, we should be well capable of dealing with that. I think what we're meaning there, Jerry, is the consistency of the teams kind of chopping and changing all the time, so it's kind of hard to keep that level going all the time. Monty, it's my turn now. He says, never thought I'd say this, never thought I'd say these words, but JP is talking a lot of sense. Well, thank you very much, Monty. I'll take that as a compliment, mate.
That's a spell correct, isn't it? That's another 5-letter word beginning with S.
Monty, you didn't know that New Year's finished, mate. You can sober up now.
Plunge says that they're very fit human beings, extremely well paid also for their services. He also then says, what happened to CCV being injury prone? He's shut a lot of the doubters up. Hope KT does the same. Hopefully, assuming KT does sign with Celtic.
Good point about Vickers.
And Merrill Wyatt's back in today. He says minus 16 on the forecast tonight, Trips. So, yeah, keep the comments coming, guys. What's your thoughts regarding Celtic versus Dundee United? What you thinking in terms of the teams? What you think in terms of who we're playing against? Obviously, Dundee United lads are sitting third in the league, so they are doing very well at the moment. Another wee topic I thought I'd throw in today. I read before we came here that Stephen Welsh has now, our good friend Mr. Anthony Joseph Ryan has put out to social medias that Stephen Welsh has passed his medical with, is it KV Mechlin?
Yep.
So, yeah, and it is only, well, as far as to my knowledge is, it is only a short-term loan deal to the end of the season, mate.
Good move for Stephen Welsh. He's obviously gone to a Premier League in Belgium, so it's a decent standard. You've got teams like Anderlecht in there as well, so Anderlecht a good team. Bruges, Cercle Bruges, so it's a decent standard of league. It's no brilliant,
Did
but
you say Cercle Bruges?
Cercle Bruges.
Sounded a wee bit
Anybody
like
who doesn't know
Cercle
this,
Bruges.
I'm no good at names, right? I try my best, so pat in the back for a Blue Peter badge for effort. No, I think he's gone to a decent standard league. I'd imagine he'll probably get some game time. I don't know where they are in the league, so I don't know everything about them. I just know that league's decent-ish. Some teams play off the Cham League through it in the past, Anderlecht, well, as we know. So it's a good move from him, but I don't know why the club only just let them go full-time somewhere, or at least there's an option to buy him, because Stephen Welsh is, 23, 24 now?
24,
He's
24,
not going to
yeah.
improve much to play in the Celtic team anymore. We've seen him enough. By the way, he's still going to play at a good level, so they must think he's decent. Good for Steve Welsh to develop, to continue his career. I'd like to think at the end of the season that they'll either speak to him if they like him, or somebody else is in the pipeline, because Stephen Welsh isn't going to play at Celtic, in my opinion. The manager doesn't fancy him. It was really surprising that he played against the last game against United, where he played.
Yeah.
No really on the bench, no really playing at all, and then he puts him at the cold. He was actually okay, right? But
Kept a clean sheet.
that's very hard for any football player to be out the team for so long and then be told to then have the standards. It's all right training with these guys. Listen, we could, by the way, we could all get fit, we could all get six packs, we could all be amazingly amazingly fit. But if you're not playing at that standard, I know the manager mentioned these players train at a high level, but I know Brendan Arm knows as much knowledge as you and whatever else. I'm never questioning you. But training at that level and playing at that level, from my experience, is different. You can train all you want, but if you're not getting match sharpness, you're not going to be at the same level as these guys. So, on that, JP, I think it's a good move for Stephen Welsh. I hope he does well, but I don't see him having a future at Celtic, because like Johnny Kenny's obviously went loan, he's come back. Ryan Christie, Chris Fire, they've all come back with maybe presumptions of coming back to play. I don't think that's the case for Welsh.
It's a wee question here. P. McLaughlin, he says, I asked about Stephen Welsh. Is he part of the Champions League squad? Well, indeed, he is part of the Champions League squad, P. McLaughlin. However, Alan, Celtic have recalled Dane Murray. And obviously, Brendan confirmed yesterday that Dane will then take that slot for us.
No, any homegrown players that's come through with the youth of the club as well, they can automatically go in, so we don't need to register some of the youth players. They can, like, if we've got a massive injury hole, touch wood we don't, but you can bring in like anybody for the youth side, the setup, so it's only kind of European or English players, etc., that need to be kind of registered, or players that have been out with our setup. So, in regard to Stephen Welsh, I'm kind of thinking along similar lines as Ryan. I don't see him having a Celtic future. I appreciate that he is playing football at a much higher level than any of us are kind of capable of. He's done rather well for himself. I think he will kind of establish himself at maybe a slightly lower standard of club than Celtic, but for me, I think he's had more than enough time to kind of prove himself. He's been in and out the team or the squad for years, and he's not quite shown the capabilities we need for a kind of a starting centre half at Celtic for me. I don't know about the loan, especially when it's been reported that there is no option to buy. So I was a wee bit surprised and perplexed about that. The reason why, because I don't know if it is because of the homegrown status, if it is because he's come through there, because we haven't got a whole lot of players that get much game time or get much time in the squad that have come through at Lennoxtown. So I don't know if that's the reason we're trying to hang on to him. I don't know if that'd be a correct reason to do so, because I don't think he's got the quality that we'd be looking for. But I wish Stephen Welsh all the best in his loan move, and probably similar lines to Ryan. I don't know about yourself, JP, but I think the summer we'll probably be looking for Stephen Welsh to move on permanently.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I don't think Stephen Welsh will hold a future at Celtic. That's not because I think Stephen Welsh is a bad player or anything. I just think Celtic will be looking for a different standard and a different level. As Alan says, he's a far higher level than us, but unfortunately he's not the kind of guy you can pin your hat on if something was to happen to, God forbid, touch any wood. The lads that are there, even Liam Scales included in this, but Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers, I don't think you can hang your hat on Stephen Welsh personally. So I really do think that.
Fair play, Kaiser.
Yeah, so I really do think we will see Stephen Welsh moving on through time. And obviously Dane Murray coming back, Ryan. Brendan says that he obviously likes the lad and everything else. Do we think we'll see Dane Murray in the Celtic team before the end of the season?
I think you will, because if we don't, there's no point in bringing him back.
but is the case that they're bringing them back to maybe lower them to a higher standard of league,
I think
possibly?
they'll maybe bring him back to see how January goes.
He was successful at Queen's Park, by the way.
Because I know done well.
So, I mean, could they go to a Hibs or a
Possibly,
Dundee
but
United
no,
or such?
no,
That's what
I
mean.
don't know.
Surely if Cohen goes to Hibs, man, surely if Big Cohen's getting a game with Hibs, and Dane Murray's the captain,
I don't
surely.
know. I don't know if. Listen, again, I don't know anything about the Celtic recruitment. Who they're looking for. If they do sign somebody who's Scottish in the league, then he might go, because that means you're adding somebody to that quarter as well, and adding somebody to the team. Dane Murray's done well. Again, I don't watch Queen's
By the
Park.
way, I was saying that about Cohen there because Cohen's came from Korea. What I was meaning is Dane Murray's he's a homegrown lad, so surely teams like that
I only
should
see Queen's Park
looking at him.
when obviously the championship games are on the BBC and stuff like that. So I've not seen too much of Queen's Park, but according to the Queen's Park fans, he's been pretty well there, done really well.
Big lad as well,
Aye,
he's a
so
big tall lad.
he came in obviously under Ange, I think. Was it Ange's first game he played? It was
That's
him
why
and
the
aye,
whole team was missing,
aye,
basically.
aye.
Aye.
So he's got a wee bit experience in the Celtic first team. Obviously he got a bad injury as well, so I know Joey Dawson was the same, and he gave him new deals, which is really good for the club, to be fair, bit of loyalty and to help him obviously financially as well. So again, I can't say too much with Dane Murray. I don't know how good he is. I don't know if he's going to be. I can't. That's down to obviously him now to come in and play. I hope he gets some sort of game time or some sort of chance off the bench or on the bench, because if they don't, you're going to kind of stumble his development, because he's playing at Queen's Park just about every week. I would rather he played at Queen's Park for another 6 months and then come back. So I hope he gets a chance.
They must have a plan in
Aye,
place.
they
They
must
must
have,
have.
they
They
must
really cut that short.
Aye.
If they did, there must be. I'm thinking it might be that he's got a higher standard of club maybe than Queen's Park, whether that be the Scottish Premier
Or
League.
it could be fourth choice
English.
centre back, and Big Rocky's going to get.
Well, see, just as you're saying that about a higher standard of club, we do have another lad that's now been recalled from his loan deal in Johnny Kenny. And he did very well with...
Joe
Joe,
Kenny,
I know.
He did, I know.
fucking hope no.
I know. He did very well at Shamrock Rovers. So what we... Yeah, he was in the Europa Conference. So what's your thoughts on him? I seen Plungy's comment earlier saying that Johnny Kenny should surely be on the bench tonight ahead of Palmer. He's not the only Celtic fan I've seen putting comments like that on either social media or on
he's
YouTube.
I think me and you spoke about it last
Have
week.
Jim Waite on the bench before Palmer.
As a winger?
Aye.
As a winger?
I think me and you spoke about it last week, JP. I don't know if it was a Monday one or what. That he's got to be given a chance, i.e. training, he's got to be looked at, because there's no point, listen, I know his deal was only to January, I'm sure, right? There's no point in bringing him back to then not even give him a sniff. It doesn't matter what level you put, right? He scored goals in Europe, he's obviously matured a bit more. He says himself that I'm going back to Celtic, I'll train, I'll see how I go. He should be on the bench now. I don't know, I'll let you answer this, right? Now, I seen it on Twitter the other day, and I've always said that Celtic should try and play two up front at Celtic Park, right? Now, we had the Mead and Kyogo there. You've now got the options to do it with Johnny Kenny on the bench. You can do that now, right? Because you've got a guy there who can come on and maybe help you, or it gives you the leeway to play it. Because for me, good, again, open goal last night, I watched it with Tony Watt. Tony Watt's like, Kyogo's absolutely brilliant. He says, I don't know how Celtic still got him. He says, I don't know how Ange hasn't went from. He says, because I think he needs that sort of player. He says he knows for a fact that Celtic under Ange, everything through Kyogo. It was get the ball to him.
Who said this?
Tony Watt.
Tony Watt.
No, this isn't me just... If you watch open goal, he says, I know for a fact that Celtic under Ange, it was get the ball to him, and that's why he scored so many goals. And this is why...
How does Tony know?
Obviously, he knows people in Celtic, doesn't he?
He's not been at Celtic though, so how would they know that?
Obviously-
That's a lot of detail, mate.
Obviously, he plays in the league. He knows people.
He'll
right?
have contacts with
Right.
his.
No, listen, this isn't
grown
me,
up at
by the way,
Celtic.
this isn't me putting this out. Go and watch open goal. Tony Watt says it. He says, I know that Ange put Everton, put the ball to Kyogo. This is why Hatate was so...
Paul Hartley's my mate, and I don't know how Cove Rangers play, by the way, so
This is how successful...
that's good info, that.
This is what Brendan obviously spoke about last year, and it's making me think now about Hatate not playing and how Kyogo was doing his better, because Hatate wasn't playing and playing the balls through him. Now, I thought Ida wasn't great at the weekend, right? But my dad was at the game, and my dad says, Ryan, he was actually making runs and nobody was finding him. So, is it because Brendan's tweaked his style of play? and the forwards are making out that they're no scoring goals and no doing well because they're not getting the service. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Is that a good analogy to use? I don't know.
Well,
Is that why
do.
Kyogo's only got 8 goals and he should be getting more because he's not getting...
He does get more than them.
Aye, but they're not getting the play.
People, Adam, he does scored more than them.
No, but I mean, is that why
This season.
their numbers aren't as good as because they're not getting that play?
Kaiser says that Tony Watt's got the same dog grooming as Kyogo. So that's how he knows. That's how he knows that Kyogo. I think Kaiser's been funny there because he also says Celtic go 4-4-2 up, play Kenny and Nida up top as a pair. Ireland's future for the World Cup, but he does add a wee LOL.
Johnny Kenny's no point out Kyogo.
They adds a wee LOL at the end of that. So
just as well because Kyogo's the best striker in Scotland, and nobody will tell me different. He's he's better than Egan Man. He's better than Bessers.
A lot better leader for me.
I'm not doubting that. No, I wasn't even going to say. What I was going to say is, you wouldn't believe that in the last couple of days though, because a certain fella scored his Sella hat trick at the weekend, and we've been seeing on social media that he's the best thing since sliced bread.
He does look decent.
Not saying he doesn't. Not saying he doesn't, but he's nowhere near the best.
It was 3 impressive finishes. No, he's nowhere near the best.
Perfect
It's a long
hat
time
trick,
to go
wasn't
that, but it was 3 very good
It was.
finishes. You need to respect where respect's due. I think they look as if they've got a half decent player on their hands.
The one he missed was easier than the one he scored. We see.
So it's still young, still raw, but I agree with yourselves. Kyogo is by far the best striker at my club, and by far the best striker.
100%. See when that Atlanta United video went out last night, so I was nearly greeting. I thought it was the end, man.
You back in the cupboard.
That boy George on with a crying game on in the background, man. I thought that was the end for it, man. I thought Kyogo's the best since Hemnick for me, and I know I've said that numerous times. And for me, the levels that he's been able to score at Champions League and European levels as well,
Do you think
do it in the big derbies, doing it.
No. For me, I get that there's cycles in football, right? If it's Kyogo's turn to go in the summer, Hatate, Taylor, Johnson, whoever it is, sometimes no every player is going to be like McGregor. They're not going to be some players cycle, it moves on, right? But I personally feel that Kyogo's been a wee bit disrespected. He's not been brilliant, but like I says, I get he's missed a lot of chances. Listen, I get that, and I'm not saying he's no. But do you think because of what I mentioned about that they're not getting the ball to him as much and they're not playing through him as much, that's why he's not getting the goals?
I don't think so, Ryan, no, because there's still a lot of involvement with Kyogo. He drops in to get the ball and he's probably one of the best.
He's doing that now because he's not getting...
You look at
But that's the way Brendan plays, mate. He wants to strike it, to drop in. You've seen it with Vardy at Leicester as well. And
look at the amount of cross balls that Kyogo scored for when under Ange at that 6-yard line. That was always the place that he was kicking about in. You don't see it as much now under Brendan.
Different,
it is a wee
kind of different
play,
play, innit? Yeah.
And I could maybe agree with and believe what Tony Watt's saying there.
I can as well.
Because you look at the amount of crosses that were just getting fired across that between the penalty spot and the 6-yard line, the amount of crosses that were getting fired across there, and Kyogo was on the majority of them the first years we had. So
do you know what I think will help Kyogo if he stays that long? I think if Kieran Tierney does sign, I think Kieran Tierney's delivery will help Kyogo massively. Also help Adam Eder as well, because he'll pick him out as well. But
again,
I just thought I'd add that.
That's no on Greg Taylor. That's no Greg Taylor's game. But Kieran Tierney is what I would call. I don't know if you agree, and I don't agree. For me, Kieran Tierney's, I'm not going to say Dan McGrain, but he's that sort of old school up and down, get it wide, get it out. That he's that sort of player. Taylor's no Vaille's no ball and goalie, isn't he? Bernabeu, isn't he? But Tierney's a sort of. We look for Wanyama and Brown. He's a dying breed of fullbacks. You don't get him anymore.
A race between him and Maida to see who that's a byline first, wasn't it?
Who's got to cross go first?
But Maida's at the half-way line and Kieran Tierney's at the 18-yard box. The two of them have got to race.
That's a good point, mate. Good point.
No, 100%. Right, I think we're coming to the time now where I think we should...
Team predictions.
Team predictions, So I'll start with you, Ryan. What do you think the next team will be?
I actually think he might stick with about the same team.
For the weekend?
Roughly, I think.
I was talking about Dundee United.
All right.
I'm only
Dalby
kidding.
in
I'm only
goals
joking.
and Dalby up front. So I know
Carried
it's
by Kai
Dalby.
Stevens and Short Armstrong.
To be fair, by one player.
Ryan Gold as well.
Gary Bowman.
One
Gary
player,
Bowman,
one
right.
player who has done well for him recently has been Kevin Holt. He's done really well for him recently.
He get booed in the derby, I know.
He's done really well recently for them. So I think Schmeichel will goals. I think with Johnson if he's fully fit. Vickers, I think Trust will be there as well. I think Scales will be in the back burner for a wee bit now, to maybe give him a bit more time to get back to that performance. Taylor, I think Taylor will play. I think it'll be McKeown, Engels and McGregor. I think he'll keep the same midfield. I think it will be Kyogo, Kuhn and Maeda. I think Ida will be the only change up front. I think Maeda and Kuhn will play. I think Kuhn again at the weekend, but it was a weekend he was really good. I'm really starting to... His numbers are just about near Jota now. I just passed Jota only 6 months for the season. I'm not saying he's near Jota
Are they
yet.
not better? I thought they were
I think
better.
so,
Aye.
I'm not saying he's near Jota yet. I'm not making any comparisons to any player because...
I think he's faster than Jota.
He's possibly, but for
He's
me,
getting more
I
pace
think
than
if
Jota.
he does it for another 6 months, then fans will start talking about Kuhn when they were Jota.
I hope he doesn't, because if he does it for another 6 months, somebody's going to give him a big bid for him.
I do think Nicholas Kuhn is starting to really show his class. Listen, you don't play a Bayern Munich when you're younger if you're not a good player. So that's my teammate, and I'm not going to talk about goals and who's going to score the goal. I just think just a bit more quickly to play, get a good performance and get to minus 16.
Yeah, Alan, team.
Pretty similar, not exactly the same, I think.
Jim waiting out wide.
Aye, Jim waiting out wide. Duncan Shearer at the back.
Aye, with Malky McKay.
Aye, so...
Wayne Biggins up front.
Aye, but I'll go with Casper goal, obviously. I think it'll be Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Taylor, since it's his 200th appearance. So we might get
And by the way, listen, I might not be the biggest fan, but that's to play at Celtic for that
That's
long.
incredible, yeah.
That is some players that can play one game. So listen, you've got to say fair play to the boy. Fair
Yeah.
play.
I think there might be one change in midfield. I think Cal McGregor will stay in. I think Engels, because of how well he's been playing the last couple of games, I think he'll stay in as well.
I think he's starting to shut up a few fans up as well.
I think
Yeah.
Hatate might come in. I was between Hatate and Bernardo. I think McCown will drop out. I think either Hatate or Bernardo, but I'll go with Hatate. And I think it'll be Kuhn, Maeda and Kyogo up front.
Yeah, Yang, no. Don't say that to John. John, Yang's playing the night, you're not going.
I know. I think it was the exact same team as St Mirren. I think this is a good opportunity to keep it the same. I think that midfield is
McKibben played well too.
Yeah, he was very good on Sunday. I thought that midfield at the weekend was very good, and I thought the energy, the energy levels that they bring to the team is absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, for me, I don't think the team changes, and I think it will be. I'm going to go for 5-0.
I think I'm staying away from predictions because the last two have said.
But you predicted the other team to beat us.
I said we beat Rangers 4-0.
Anyway, I think I said 3-1 or 4-1.
Right, if we're going to go, I'll just say a clean sheet and a few goals. I'm not going to say a score, but I think Brendan will be saying to the team, no to shut the fans up or anything like that, but I think he'll say, go and show them you're still.
I'd love a
one
good
of the
performance.
aye.
I'd rather, I know this might sound silly, but I'd rather an absolutely fantastic performance where we missed maybe a lot of chances and we won 2-0 rather than play poorly and win 4-0. I want to see us kind of get our confidence back and play, kind of start playing the way we know we're capable of playing, that kind of level, that kind of high standard that we did set earlier in the season.
I would just like to see us keeping it flying for the beginning, take Dundee by surprise and really go for the jugular. Dundee United by surprise, sorry, and just really go for the jugular and really hit them hard and score a couple of early goals and really get the crowd on my side, and then before you know it, it's curtains.
I think you're spot on there because I think listen, we all know Celtic Park.
Party's over.
We all know Celtic Park sometimes can be, I don't want to say toxic, but it can be a wee bit rowdy and jaded sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And see when the fans are absolutely really see when the crowd are playing good football, the crowd's brilliant, but it's energetic and stuff like that. So, like you said, you get an early goal, and I think it could be a really good, exciting performance, hopefully. And I think we're due one. That's why I thought we'd have went to the Ibrox and hammered them, because we were due a really good, exciting performance, and I was really expecting it. And listen, I always say to myself and to here, if I say something stupid, and what I did against Atlanta, I did against Rangers, I got it wrong. I'm a big boy, I admit it, I got it wrong, I thought it was absolutely annihilated. And to be fair, the majority did.
I think that was the overriding feeling
got it
after the
wrong.
game because
I got it
I
wrong.
don't think anybody in their granny and their budgie seen that coming.
No.
But as I say, it's just one of the ones where when do you ever see a full Celtic squad? Every one of them are miles off it as well. It normally doesn't happen, so it was an anomaly. And
Even I
to
don't
me,
think even Darren Brown could have predicted that. That it
No.
was going to be like
Mystic Meg.
Mystic Meg
No.
and Dynamo. I don't think they'd have predicted that. So, but no, it's
The Bush would have.
aye, the Bush.
Yeah.
Aye. And the Bush, aye.
Aye.
But to be fair, I think in general, listen, I know people talk about the press and stuff, right? The grand scheme of things, we're in an unbelievable bit of the club at the moment. Financially, we're the best we've ever been. We will be again. We've got players improving like Engels all the time, and Vickers, like he says, come back and playing well. And so we're in an unbelievable state. So I think maybe sometimes criticise the performance, but after that performance done, don't continue to criticise, because where we are at the moment, you can't really, you can't criticise really. You can't.
Yeah.
Because if you're last year where we've been critical, and look where we are now.
it's been phenomenal.
Some fans still saying so. You've
We'll
got
set that higher
aye,
standard, I think that's
I
why.
think that's what it is, and we're not going to be Leipzig every single game.
So I think if we can get through at the end of the season unscathed, then we've got Quan and Marco Tallio back. I think we'll be right as rain. I think that's probably Marco
I think
Tallio.
that fella wants to come back as well. I'm
He's
assuming.
no way to come back.
I don't think so.
Marco
No.
Tallio.
No.
He's heard Baines have stopped doing sausage rolls now. She's no way to come back and eat them.
Aye, aye. But to you guys that are tuning in with us, 31 of you still watching us just now. Only 12 of you have hit that like button, so please go and hit the like button. Come on,
Phone's
guys.
flashing, man.
Um,
Your pocket.
so you, if you've not already done so, please hit the wee thumbs up for us. Obviously, it helps the channel. If any of you are going to the game tonight, please bundle up. It's awfully cold outside, as the lads have said here. It is nearly minus 16. It's the forecast for tonight. So here's hoping Celtic can come out of the traps and they're flying. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe.
Yep.
We don't charge you. It's totally free of charge. And come and join the family. We'll be back with the post-match of this tonight. And obviously talking about the game for the weekend when we take on Ross County. Away from home on Saturday at 12:30.
Yep.
But for the time being, hail, hail. Thanks to the Morven again for letting us in.
Yep.
And we'll see you all again.
Hail.
Take care.
Cheers,
Hail, hail.
guys. Bye-bye.